Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the discount. Today is Tuesday, March 7th, 2023, and as always, kicking off with the SPY chart or the S&P 500, all the same thing. Today was a big down day. We had about 1.5% down on the day and on volume. So definitely something to take note of here. Uh, Now that you look back on the chart, on the daily chart, I want to zoom in here. This was a sign or signal of a trend change, not something particularly great to trade against because it really didn't give you any retracement of this candle from yesterday. However, this was a topping signal, at least for the short term. Now, to close, and this is pretty much an engulfing candle, meaning it opened and closed and is swallowing up this entire green up day candle right here. So keeping it pretty simple, that is bearish. Now, in the grand scheme of things, we're still bullish above this down sloping trend line. All just stuff to keep on the docket, to keep on a sticky note, to keep in your back pocket when you're looking at the trades that you're taking and whether the market is relatively strong or whether it is relatively weak. So looking at this now, getting a little bit closer into it, this didn't close below this gap, which it basically, let's go to the hourly chart here. It basically filled this gap right here from the other day and now is bouncing off. Now, let me get my new fancy drawing tool here there that my other YouTube friends told me about. Now, if it just starts to chop around and doesn't recapture this high right here and start closing candles above and resuming uptrend, okay? And it just starts, let's just get rid of that. And it starts chopping here, and let's just say it gives it that long. I don't know if it will or it won't. However, this is bearish, okay? And this is going for a resumption in the downward direction. Now, if that is more from a macro move perspective. From an intraday perspective, we should have some opportunity tomorrow, pending what the market is going to do. I'm expecting an intraday bounce around the, I think it's a 395 level, 395.50 for a day trade, but we'll see how it gets in there. As always, we call that stuff out in real time. Now, something I want to point out is the SPY daily, like I've been saying, we're bullish above, we're bearish below. Now, I was going to play the long side on this, and I would have been out already on some nice call option action. Not really sure what to do with this tape at the moment, but watch it, right? We're going to watch this thing, and let me get my super duper drawing tool out again. We're going to watch what this thing does, okay? And if it's coming down to simply retest some of this area, which is, look, if you just draw this line, I don't even have to draw a fib level, but if you just draw this line out here, and you got the 200, you got the 100, you got the 50 period, and it's coming down, it's going to retrace that a little bit, it's going to recapture this breakdown candle high. Okay, it's got work to do. I'm not saying it doesn't. But look what it starts to look like, right? It just starts to look like a bullish channel. I know that's ugly, but bear with me here. I'm really just trying to keep things simple. So that is something we can certainly see. Now, let's get rid of all of that. Again, the bearish scenario here is it just starts to go lower and close candles below this thing, and good night, Irene. She's heading lower. So I am just full transparency. I'm looking to get short at some point. Now, I really wanted this, and it didn't really give it to you, obviously, on this run up here. but I wanted that level. We'll see how it gets in there, and maybe I'll call out some swing trading stuff in the live day trading room. So going back to a couple of market leading indicators, guys. I brought these up yesterday. I'm going to start doing them now moving forward so that everyone has a better idea on market leading indicators. So the Russell 2000 is a market leading indicator for the S&P 500, for Nasdaq, for crypto, for everything. Why? Because this makes up higher risk companies that the world is investing in. So, meaning if this is in a worse position than the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, or if it's in a better position than the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, that's typically telling you what the next move is going to be on the S&P 500 or Nasdaq. So, reason I bring this up, the S&P 500 closed on or below, depending on who you speak with, the 50 period moving average today. Let's go to the daily chart here, a little bit closer in. Okay. And it's so you see that it's closed on or below the 50 period. Not great. Okay. And it's also very close to the 200, the 100 period, and this down sloping trend line. The Russell, what do you think? When you see this chart, what does it look like? It's in a much better position comparatively. That's from a structural standpoint. Okay. And now this was down 1.16% on the day. Not as bad as the SPY. Now, yesterday it was down worse than the SPY, and it was telling you maybe the SPY needed to flush out a little bit more. Same with the transports. Now, this is the US transportation ETF, a very great canary in the coal mine, or a market leading indicator again. This is in a much more bullish scenario than the SPY. Look, it simply closed below the 20 period moving average on the daily chart. It's not at the 50 yet, and it's definitely further apart or further away, excuse me, from this downsloping trend line. So this is all kind of what goes on in my head when I'm thinking of, well, what are the scenarios here? And, how can you trade them? And again, if those market leading indicators are more bullish in structure and the SPY is close to all this stuff again, what happens, right? If the Russell and the transports are simply going to get more bullish and stay more bullish, well, then this is going to happen, right? It's that bullish scenario where this just kind of stays in that channel, excuse me, and this is just going to get to more upside, and we can look to get short on that move. Okay, but for now, nothing to do with it, and we'll just keep an eye on this stuff moving forward. All important Bitcoin. I'm going to cover Bitcoin today because it's starting to break down. I know a bunch of people were short already. Great move. Now, this kind of bullish trend line, if you will. However, I mean, you looking at this and you're saying, well, that's not really like meant to hold up necessarily. It's not like a tradable trend line, but it's just a structural thing. If you look at it, is it going to, make some type of M formation? Is it going to recapture this breakdown candle high, where I know a lot of people are looking to get short at that breakdown candle high? So is it going to, try to recapture that breakdown candle high if the SPY simply just goes back up and the transports and Russell 2000 go back up? And then guess what you have? That's your next target right there. This gap fill on the Bitcoin futures chart. So that certainly can happen. Another thing that can happen is it just goes up, retests this breakdown candle high, people get short, and well, they got right. And it just goes down and fills this gap right here, which isn't necessarily a long opportunity, but it is a big area maybe for a scalp. with potential. All right. So that's kind of how I'm looking at things on Bitcoin, guys. It's pretty much just following along, and you just want to look at everything in conjunction. All right. So let's get into the Lazy Day Trader channel, guys. I had 3 lazy day trades on the board today, and of course, we are narrating the SPY and the NASDAQ, but mainly the SPY throughout the day, giving SPY levels, day trade opportunities in this channel. And so far, I believe we're at about like an 82 or 86% success rate, which is standard from my success rates from the past 2 years using this strategy. So comfortable now showing you guys how to do this and sharing my day trading levels with you guys. So we had a SPY win today. It was not the easiest SPY win, and I will show you why in a second. So Tuesday, March 7th, 2023, we got Rocky and Butkus, one of my favorite pictures of all time. I'm looking for someone to paint it for me. So if you know anyone, please do let me know. Happy Tuesday, right? We had Jerome Powell set to speak at 10 a.m. Now you're going to see that the markets used that as an excuse to head to a destination. And where that first destination was our buy zone. Okay, so we certainly got volatility out of it. And if she's going to drop today, I'm going to find a number for intraday support. I'm thinking around 401.45. So I am going to just stop there for a second and show you guys where this thing stopped for a scalp opportunity in the day. I had 401.40, okay? The first buy zone. Now, I'm going to do a little lesson here. The first buy zone that I had was 402.25 to 401.40. However, the first thing, 0 dark 30 at what time was it? 7:52 a.m. I said the big important 401.45. Now, this comes down to position sizing. You could have either taken half here and half here, which is what I did. However, with the volatility, you could have done the smaller portion of your position size up on the first number and then a larger portion of your position size at the second number. And you would have come out with about 401.60, let's just say. And that would have gave you an amazing trade. I was at 401.80 and I took 60 cents off. However, there's different ways to do that. I just like to stick with 2 positions if I'm going to do a zone. Looking back, obviously in retrospect, we should have just waited for 401.40 and took the full position at 401.40, and we would have got an amazing trade. But it was still gave us 60 cents to if anyone held it more. Gave us if you're in at 401.80 as an average, now you're at what? 402.80. You took the scalp off over here, and maybe you held it, and now you have the second portion at $1, right? So that's a great trade. Now, this thing was falling into the zone like a knife through hot butter. So this thing just cut right through. Actually, it bounced off very briefly off 402.25. It had another destination in mind. And that destination was, at the time, now it's a little messed up here, but that destination was the hourly 20 period and the hourly 100 period moving average at the time. And that's what this zone comprised of. I said below 401 on candle closes, and it's going to start looking wrong. So let's just go right into it. There you go. Here we go. We're starting to get volatility. Same spot. And I said 402.25 to 401.40. That's the zone. Below 401 candle closes, it's wrong. Now you guys can choose how you'd like to load them up. Do you want to wait for the lower number and maybe miss out on the second? Do you know what your average is going to be if the stop is 401 on candle closes? Always up to you. But the trade worked out. So it ended up being a meltdown. Now it started to overshoot on the chart. Let's just go back to the chart here. When it started going down to 450, I'm thinking, all right, well, this certainly didn't work out in the timely manner that I wanted it to. I was thinking it's going to chop around in here and get back up to this area. That didn't happen. In fact, let's see here. This is a 10-minute chart on the SPY. It closed a 10-minute candle below 401. Now I go back to the channel. They closed a 10-minute candle below 401. I'm not stopped out yet, but I'm going to soon. Let's see it. Let's see it push here. There you go. You can break even. They're at break even, or you can let it ride. And then, boom, nice trade. We're into the money on this trade. And that's where we were about right here. Once it got back up to 402.25. Okay, so that's a SPY trade, guys. I actually want to show you one of the lazy day trades. Now, some people understand that a lot of these aren't going to hit their numbers until, or well, these will, but I'm saying the majority of them are going to hit their great levels, and that's all we want to wait for. We don't care if these are so far away and they're not going to hit their levels because we have action on the SPY. These day trades, you want to wait for these levels because during earnings season, the volatility picks up. Well, when is earnings season, you ask? The next earnings season is going to be April. So once earnings season kicks up, this list is going to be full, and you might have 2 or 3 of them hit their number in one day, and you're going to be pretty busy. So just get used to it for now. Position size accordingly, paper trade, never obviously trade with money that you're not willing to lose. Because these things are going to come fast and furious come April. Now, let's go back. I want to show you SE here. Okay? So SE, I had 88.45. Let's go into the chart here. 1 second. Let me get my screen over here again. All right, perfect. Now, I want to show you guys something really quick because see how this thing, look at the volume on this thing. You see where this gap all the way up here comes in at. We'll just call it, oh, hold on. We'll just call it 88.60, but it was 88.45. It also happened to be a fib retracement level from an important pivot. Okay, I think it was up here. Yeah, so it was right up here. You got a 50% retrace right there. And this is the stuff I'm going to show you in the education. However, I want to show you here today. And what I was looking at is, so it opened, when it started to open down here, I said, okay, I got another opportunity. Now, I didn't share it with the room, and, I'm not going to do that. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because it was higher risk, and I understand how to do this, and I understand that not everyone understands how to do this. So I'm just going to take these higher risk trades by myself and give you guys the juiciest spots. That's just what I'm going to do. So, but I want to show you what my thinking was, because in the pre-market, this equity was opening, right? This equity was opening at 76, and then it dropped all the way down before the market opened to 68.72. Now, when you take this range, when you take 76, right, what was the low and the high of this big ass candle? The low and the high is 80, let's call it 82 to 69. Okay? You take this candle and you replicate that candle, right? Let's just take this candle real quick. You replicate this candle from where this was going to open. Where is this here? 76, boom. Look what you have. Look at that measured move into my level that we would have shorted the shit out of and made a bunch of money. That type of stuff is going to happen all the time coming earnings season. Now, it might only happen sporadically, maybe one couple times a week, 3 times a week, once a week. In between, we'll have our SPY trades, but that kind of stuff you're going to get. Now, what I did, and I'll show you here, I shorted, look at this. I shorted this level because it opened lower. And I just wasn't comfortable sharing this with you guys because I really just want you guys to have the best setups. And this could have blown through, and I wanted to keep it. I just wanted to keep it tight. And I understand people don't know how to use this methodology yet. And once I do the educational videos, I'll start to call out some of these in more real time. And as you guys know, I have been calling out a lot of trades in real time as I see them. But I had nailed this because look where it opened up on the daily instead of that 76 level, right? Where it would have easily or could have gotten up to 88.60. And that was the short that I had called out. It opened way down here, and I saw this gap right over here. And it just happened to be what? A 382 fib retrace. So when you got all these factors, that lines up for institutional selling or at least relief at that level. Okay. All right, guys. So good day today, guys. Whoever got paid on the SPY, let me know. Whoever struggled with it, let me know. I am happy to again answer questions. Anyone who is either struggling or wants to make money or wants to just better understand how to use this strategy to supplement their income or try to make this a full-time living, I'm here to help. So great day today, guys. We'll see you on the charts as always, and have a great night. Take care.